Hello, everyone. It's Josh from the Chanarant podcast. And before we begin the episode, I want to make a quick disclaimer about the things going on here in the United States currently and why we do not address them on this week's show. Currently, there have been a week of protests across the country in response to the murder of an unarmed person of color named George Floyd by the Minneapolis police. This was done in broad daylight and captured in its entirety on video by bystanders, once again opening the centuries-old wounds of systemic racism that have plagued our country since its inception. Here on Chanarant, we are often known for our crass humor and constant attempts to push the edge of what's socially acceptable, sometimes even too far. While this topic is certainly on our minds, we didn't think it would be appropriate or productive to have a room full of straight white guys prattle on about systemic inequality over a couple beers. That being said, this conversation is one we want to have and intend to record once we can get input from individuals who can speak about those issues from experience. I want to thank you for your understanding, and now on to your regularly scheduled dick jokes.
That's about as good as it gets on Saturday night here, guys.
Which one was playing practice champ?
That was Glenn.
Oh, so world champion P-Rock player just decided to do Sesame Street for us. This is great. Why don't we bother to have guests? Yeah. We could do that.
This is Chanarant, you know? This is what it is.
He just Chanaranted us.
Yeah, he did. He Chanaranted us. And he can play anything in the world. I mean, between the two of them, they have medals for days, and they chose Sesame Street.
Yep. They also have herpes for days, but...
This is true. We'll get into that later. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chanarant podcast. My name is Josh. With me, as always, is my bearded co-host, Mr. Andy Fuco.
That's me.
And if you didn't know, I would like to cordially inform you that this will be an explicit show. So you have 5 seconds to listen to something else. Anything other than Up to the Line podcast, probably. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck.
For fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake. Fuco.
Oh, fuck.
There you go.
Odd open.
Oh, fuck's sake. Are you serious? All
right. Every time.
We had okay, you know what really fucking sticks a Sesame Street tune up my ass?
What's that, Sco?
When we have a planning meeting on Wednesday and Josh doesn't inform me that it's odd open this week. I mean, granted, it should be my I should have looked, but
you want to know how you can one of the 7 ways you can go fuck yourself today?
Yes.
Is the calendar invite said CR119 recording. I put the episode number in the calendar invite now.
I know. I'm getting used to the new system. It's only been 119 episodes. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, it's only over a year's. It's like 4 days worth of content back to back if you put it all together. I did the math the other day, and I was like, okay, if every episode's like 60 to 70 minutes, and we have 115 of them or whatever, it's about 4 days straight.
Really? Is it really?
Yeah. So we're coming for you, Big Rab. Listeners can review. Welcome to the Chanarant Podcast. Listeners can review the show on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, your podcast player of choice. If you send us a review, we have a couple today. We will mail you a sticker within 1 to 74 business days. You can send us emails and voicemails to be played on air. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you're Australian, Snapchat. Check out the Chanarant store at chanarant.com for your sweet, sweet merch like this. And become a patron. You can support the show for $5 a month at patreon.com/chanterrant, and it gives you access to weird random shit if you think the show is bad, you should see the shit we put in the Patreon page that we just literally no one can see. We cannot make public. Last but not least, please invite and share with your friends if they have a sick sense of humor. Mr. Andrew Fusco, would you be interested in introducing our audience to our 2 lovely guests?
Well, the second one was a surprise, so I don't know much about him, but maybe the world does. We'll hope they do.
Also, I like how they're both Team Josh right now, rocking shades. That's fantastic. Thank you.
I tried to, but I couldn't see shit, so I took them off.
Yeah, trust me, my monitor brightness is always on high.
Yeah.
It's not easy. When we were doing Chanarant live, I couldn't see shit.
Right. Oh, yeah. And it was dark in that room. But anyway.
It's fucking dark.
We have, let's see, a very young and interesting guest for our audience, the sick fucks that are Chanarant audience, because really they want to know sex stories, right?
Yeah.
So we brought in somebody who's a professional sexist. Or wait, no, sex person.
And also Cameron.
Yes. No, just kidding. Cameron Drummond's here, who is one of the winningest pipers of all time. He's also famous for kicking Willie McCallum in the balls at the Glenfiddich about 2 years ago.
Yeah, and in true Chanarant fashion, we're going in reverse order of winning the Silver Chanter. So we had Callum way back when, and then we're just gonna go backwards.
Yeah, because he was obviously the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, we got Callum unconscionably drunk to get him on the show.
Yes, absolutely. So, and then Cameron decided to bring in his friend. Is it Graham Brown? Is that who's here?
Blair.
Blair, right. Sorry. Hey, Blair.
Yeah, Cameron had to bring an accountability buddy. He was afraid to be left alone with us.
Yeah, he was scared. We understand. It's first time on the show. It can be a little intimidating. We understand. But one of the Brown brothers, I don't know which one. We'll figure it out by the end of the show.
Fusco was there for my first time.
Was I?
Yeah, on the show. No, not that.
I didn't think we were going to talk about
not
that.
Not that time.
Oh.
If you're thinking of something else. So we're gonna get through some of the nonsense and then have a quick chat. Gentlemen, you are free to chime in at any point. Don't be afraid. We have some emails and voicemails from the audience. Some are piping related. Some are completely unrelated to bagpipes. But two legendary coxmen such as yourselves can probably cope with some of these. Absolutely. So I'm going to start with an email. This is anonymous.
I need to ask a question first here before we get
happily.
Going. Is that your mouth covering, or do you always wear a scarf?
Oh no, this is for when I have to interact with humans in the outside world. Now that we're post-apocalypse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that, but I wasn't sure because it looks like a nice scarf,
Yeah, I can't rock a scarf or an ascot.
You're not Johnny Depp.
I can't
Glenn
do it.
Brown.
I'm not weird enough. I'm not weird enough to rock that kind of a thing.
Glenn's known for having great style. I wonder.
Granted, the other thing I have to do is I have to wear this in public often because I have incredibly racist tattoos on my neck, so I have to cover those up.
All right, I guess we're going there.
Okay, so we have an email.
Hold on, one question for Glenn, because he's known for having great style. Have you ever rocked like a Johnny Depp kind of fucking scarf, or one
like
of those
an ascot and a shirt,
one of those
like
crazy
crushed velvet jacket,
those 17-foot long scarves that you wrap around your head,
and then like beating the crap out of your hot girlfriend, like that whole thing, like the Johnny Depp thing.
I mean, I'm interested in Amber Heard. I'll take her, but no, I've never rocked the big scarf or the big kind of tie, but I suppose there's always time.
I like a lot of that man's movies, but Johnny Depp strikes me as the kind of person that, if I had to guess, I would say has probably tried person in his life. Like he's probably eaten like a little bit of people.
You think so?
Yeah, like he was probably like on some rescue mission in the middle of nowhere and like hanging with it. Like he's weird enough to where I'm like, hey guys, that guy's probably tasted human. Like I have to assume.
Yeah, he's possibly tasted himself.
Ooh,
wait, like he
blew himself?
Blew himself?
Like
I can't see what he's doing.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, you gotta keep in mind it's a radio show too, so you have to be very descriptive. So what Cameron was doing was he was imitating.
Sorry. Check.
He was imitating jacking off in his own face.
Oh my god.
Which will
listen.
Cameron German jacks off in his own face. The headline of the next Pipes Drums article.
That'll get some readers.
So anyway,
that'll get some.
Here's an email from Anonymous. They say, "Howdy, ranters. You know what really drops a fat, wet cow pie in my parade? It's that there are no grade 5 solo comps here in the great piping wasteland that is the Western United States. If you're a grade 5 player here and want to compete solo, your only option to compete on pipes is to compete at a higher grade, which, that's what solo is. Grade 5 is like chanter, basically. Mm-hmm. Your sheets are pretty much going to be limited to the very polite Canadian version of fuck off and die. Oh, and tune a little, would you? In other parts of the country, we have to compete against other players at our same stage of development, but apparently Wuspaba would rather never see us improving through solo competition. That, my friends, is the advantage of the COVID online solo comps, also known as COSC. We I made that part up, sorry. Okay. We noobs don't have to drive to Georgia somewhere to compete at our grade. What a pleasure. It's almost worth crashing the world economy. Perhaps the nice people at Wuspaba could catch a fucking clue. Name redacted for remarkably obvious reasons. Thanks.
Thanks, Aaron Kimsey, for sending that.
Josh, how long did it take you to write that question?
Hey, if you give me 4 or 5 more years in grade 5, I can move up. I promise.
Well, we're going to have Cameron teach you how to play a grip today, I think.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I could use it, man, because my grips are legendarily bad. You know what it's from though. I realize because it's like low hand movements. The reason that they're like kind of hard for me is all the times I've punched people for making fun of my low hand movements has made my hand really stiff.
I understand. That makes sense. Yeah. I thought it was your jack off hand is maybe the problem, but
I do go righty. It's a weird thing because I'm left-handed. I'm ambidextrous at a lot of things, but I'm left-handed when I always judge it by like how do you write words because that's like the hardest thing to do in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like shoot with both hands, both hands, all that stuff, no worries. But yeah, jacking at righty. I don't think I could actually do it left-handed.
It's funny.
Cameron, what hand do you jack off with?
My strong hand.
Which is
both.
The right hand.
He's doing the fireman pole.
Oh Jesus!
The trick is the up down with the twist, right?
Yeah.
Here's a genuine question.
Uh-oh.
Here's a question for you, and I think it's an American thing. You guys refer to it as your low hand and your high hand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Cammy, what do you call it?
Top hand, bottom hand?
Well,
bottom?
Because I'm a student of the world, I go for low hand, high hand, but normally it would be bottom hand, top hand, like any fucking normal person. But I do enjoy people talking about the high hand, the tone on the high hand.
Yeah, well, have you ever found that interesting though?
Have you guys heard the term like southpaw? Do you know what southpaw
is? It's a lefty.
Yeah, the lefty, which wouldn't make sense because that's the top hand.
But southpaw's a box. It just means
it's a box term.
Yeah, it's just a weak. Yeah, but so wait, you're saying top and bottom is more popular in Canada? Is that how it is?
All over the world. The States call it low hand, high hand. Anywhere else in the world that I've been to, they call it top and bottom.
So, are you guys a top or a bottom?
Yeah. Which one of you is the top?
I mean,
I'm
Kurt.
A low hand. I'm a low hand.
You're the bottom. I don't think.
Josh, you're a low hand, but you're a high hand for everything else.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, I think it's great because in theory, if someone assaulted me in my home while I was jacking it, I could still fire and finish. Like.
That would be a great intro video for the channel.
And then get your gun out and shoot them.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen what's the movie? It's it's Clive Owen, and it's Shoot 'Em Up. I think is the name of the movie. And he there's literally a gunfight scene while he's banging Monica Bellucci. And
really?
And he's like fucking and he's like he doesn't stop fucking her. And
really?
He's like rolling around.
I need to see this movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see this.
So you want to
seen that.
Write down. It's I believe it's called Shoot 'Em Up. It's got Clive Owen and Monica Bellucci, and it is fucking hilarious. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
you'll thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
So now that we've gotten through the movie review portion, Fusco, we have an email from one of our new patrons, Aaron. Cheers, bruv.
Yeah. So Aaron says, sup, you desert dwelling dumb fucks. I thought I finally would join the hashtag one of the six family and toss $5 a month to the world's worst bagpiping podcast. Hey, that's going to change soon.
That's about to change.
I am
we're no longer the world's worst. We got 2 legends here.
I am no longer a poor college student, so I can toss my bar money to you guys for the best ball-busting, cringy, edgy, and self-deprecating show there is. I love the show, fellas, and it never ceases to make me laugh. I hope you guys keep producing awesome content. I'm happy to be part of the family. This has been the Big Blue Balls of Scotland. Cheers, Aaron.
Slanja Aaron, thank you for becoming one of our patrons.
That's actually a good question. Would one of you guys write us a tune called the Big Blue Balls of Scotland?
I was just going to say that. Like, who's going to compose that tune?
Make it loosely based on Blue Bells or whatever the fuck that tune is.
I was playing my pipes today, and I was playing a bunch of 4/4s, and I just thought, what if I was just to make one up on the spot and just kind of go with it?
How did it go?
I think I still got it in my head, and I think that's the title.
Would you like to play it for us right now? In your practice
well, and like I have an idea for the Big Blue Balls of Scotland, and hear me out. I know. There's a lot of people in the room that are talented pipers, and also Fusco. But,
saw that coming a mile away.
But what about the Big Blue Balls of Scotland? 16 bars of low G. Just fucking hanging on it.
Ooh, I don't know.
Or here's how it needs to, actually would be even better is if it had a march start like dee dum ba da dum ba and just hold low G for
they already
4
wrote
parts.
that. They already wrote that tune. It's called Cockney Jocks. It's really terrible. It's a good question. I have a question for the guys. Let's just interject.
Wait, do we get to hear this composition?
Yeah, well, 2 seconds.
I'm going to need to get back to you. Okay, I'll email it in.
I would love to know each of yours most hated tune. Like,
Ooh,
what
yes.
just fucking, God damn it, you just get angry when you hear it.
What curdles your milk, so to speak?
Cammy?
It's probably one that I spend, 75% of my life teaching. It could be Terabis or it could be Cora Hoyley's Welcome to the 43rd Meeting. But there's another couple as well. There's one that all the bands over in Holland and fucking Germany play. I can't remember the name of it. It's a 3/4. There's loads of shit tunes. Loads of shit tunes.
You heard it here first. Folks.
Title: Loads of shit tunes.
Hold on, write that down.
So many.
There's a tune that I hate that I shouldn't say I hate it, but if I never played it again for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be disappointed, and that's Highland Wedding. And
interesting,
because I've played it so many times. My first stint with Shots, which was a six seasons, we played it. I think Graham tallied it up 90% of the time that we competed.
Jesus.
So you've played it so much that you're just bored of it.
I can imagine getting sick of playing Highland Wedding if I could play Highland Wedding.
Exactly. You have to have been able to play it first, I suppose.
So what you're saying is I got to learn it and then spend 6 seasons playing it, and then I'll get bored of it.
Play in any grade 1 band, and you will be guaranteed play it 7 million times.
Easy there.
Josh, you're a bit of a ways off, coming out of grade 5 there. So
well, that's only solos. I'm only grade 5 solos. I'm grade 4 and 3 band.
Grade
apparently.
8 bands. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I'm a power bottom when it comes to the
band. He's a great blender, ladies and gentlemen. We hide him in the back, much like Ross Miller.
Well, you just put me in the back because I can see over everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And despite being shit-faced or on drugs, I usually know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You want to go to the next one?
Yeah. So this next one is good fun. We got a review, so I'll send a sticker, like I said, 1 to 74 business days. Review from Hippo. I have been listening to this group of bagpipers since they began. Since we began bagpiping or the show? I'm assuming the show. Because there's no way this person's old enough to be listening since we began bagpiping. I knew who Joe was before I met him. I was ready for my first competition, armed with knowledge on how to overcome Voldemort. It is the show you love to hate. Thank you, boys, for all you do. Sincerely, Hippo. 5 stars. Cheers, Hippo. Your sticker is in the mail, but it's in the Piper's Dojo.
Proverbial mail.
It's in the Piper's Dojo mail, so it's going to go to Antarctica first.
Exactly. It'll take you a while to get it. That's our excuse. It went through the dojo. This one is not linked.
I know, that's weird, right? No, that's okay. So skip to the voicemails. We got a voicemail from Rabby. Do you guys know Rab, right? Cam? Glenn? Cameron, do you go by Cam or do you go by Fuckboy?
He's left the room there, but he signed I think he signs his email sometimes Cam, but I call him Cammy. He might go by Cam Ron in the hip hop piping world, but
Cammy Dizzle.
Cammy Dizzle? Okay, that's perfect.
Cam Dizzle, perfect.
I go by Hip Optimus Prime in the hip hop world. So
yeah, that's pretty good name.
All right. Okay, so we got a voicemail from our good friend Robbie the Pooh. And I think I summaried it, but I don't remember. So do you have that loaded? Are you ready to rock?
Ready? Yep.
Dude, send it.
Rab, of course, from the Big Rab Show. And I have a couple of questions for you, actually. After listening to your last episode there with Ozzy Osbourne, I have a couple of questions. And yeah, obviously you guys had a bit of a pop at one of the goddesses of the piping world. I don't even know her name, but playing that version of Highland Cathedral with the terrible video. My question is all of these people, like the goddesses of piping, the dark-eyed pipers, all these like different women who doing all these YouTube videos. We also have the unicycler piper with the flaming drones, the bad piper, I think, from Australia with flaming drones and a mohawk. And I want to know your opinion. Are these people incredibly damaging to our piping world, or should they be applauded for promoting it in a way, in a very strange way? They do kind of promote our instrument and people go, oh, bagpipes are cool. But obviously, I'm a piping fan. You guys are too. And I absolutely detest all of it. They seem to be making a mockery of the whole thing. It's an absolute disaster. Anyway, another question I had, which is completely unrelated, is I wanted to talk about bagpiping and Highland dancing. I just wanted to know, have you guys had any experience playing for Highland dancers? Maybe Mary, Queen of Legs, can help with this one. Playing for a Highland dancer, it seems to be a completely different skill set from playing in any other kind of bagpiping, be it a concert, band performance. It seems to be. Highland dancing piping is a completely different genre. And I was just wanting to know, did you guys have any experience of it? Anyway, keep being sexy, you two. And thanks a million for taking the time to listen to me. All the best. Hashtag one of the 6. F.U. Jump Ready!
That was a great question, Rab. So
two really good questions.
Let's send
I think
it to these guys.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
They're the pros.
I really want to send this one. Rab has impeccable timing as usual, and also Rab, thank you, you sexy bastard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a big old cuddle and a smooch, just like I did to Joe Brady, and he hated it.
He definitely hated it.
I have the video somewhere of when I first met Joe Brady and like picked him up and kissed him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was not happy.
No.
But okay, so kicking this over to the professionals in the room. To summarize, he asks, do the goddesses of bagpipes, the unipiper, the bad piper, the YouTube people that do like kind of gimmicky bagpiping, do
Terrible.
they detract or do they help by expanding the audience? We're going to start with Glenn.
Terrible. They should be, their bagpipe should be burned.
Well, some of them might burn their own on accident at this point.
Yeah. We've got them here in Glasgow as well. There's a guy that has the flames shooting out. And he actually, he's the only guy that I've ever seen and kind of witnessed, but he's got the little box like on his belt and the tube must go up and all this. And so he's got to take his hand off and flip the switch and all that sort of stuff. And I think, first of all, not just people with flames that come out of their pipes or ride a unicycle. I think all buskers should have a license because they're terrible. So yeah, that's
so. Wait, a license meaning a certain qualification of playing ability
to busk.
Yeah.
Oh, we have that here.
No, you don't have to be a qualified. You just have to go apply.
Yeah,
for
about to say in certain areas
it makes
yeah.
no difference what you do.
So you're talking about like proof of ability.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel
sure.
about pew-pews.
Who?
About firearms. Like you should. I just want to know you know how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense.
Pew, pew. I know that sound.
So Cam Optimus.
No,
what do you
Cam
think?
Rizzle.
What just to expand that? What about like chili pipers, like the next level up, that kind of thing, or the goddesses who play kind of a little better but still do cheesy stuff? What do you think of them?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily my jam. It's not my bag, but they can all play.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things.
I guess my point is, most buskers that you hear, they're taking people's money and they're shite. And, the chili pipers, to me, they're broadening people's minds, and because they can play, they play some cheesy stuff, but they play some really good stuff. And so they're kind of broadening the art form and getting it to a wider reach. But, if they couldn't play, I would feel the same and say, they're taking people's money, but they can. So that's why I feel that way about certain buskers. And actually, don't get me wrong. Like when my brothers and I first moved over to Scotland, we would busk, and it would literally be like going out practicing. And I would play pipes, and Blair would join me, and then he'd have a break, and Graham would join me. But I guess if you're taking people's money, you should be able to play. Cameron?
It's fucking.
You've got it worse through in Edinburgh.
It's an absolute disgrace. Like the fact that we're talking about. So I listen to Chanter and I pick up on the try fail and shite bag of the week, and I had to go and listen to this girl, and dig a little deeper, and she can play the bagpipes, but the fact that you've got Glenn Brown's winning performance at the Glenfiddich at the height of the art, taking a couple of thousand views, and you've got someone playing fucking Itchy Fingers or Rockin' the Baby in front of fuckwits that have no idea what they're listening to, up in the hundreds of thousands of views, is shocking. I mean, that NHS video aside, that was a fucking disgrace in its own right, for a number of reasons. But it's terrible, and it boils down to, if you look at any other profession, you're talking about, golf coaching or any other sort of high level sport. I keep thinking of sport because I've been watching fucking Michael Jordan so much, and The Last Dance and stuff.
Great documentary.
Take any of these guys, that are involved at the high level. They're getting paid the mega bucks, and the guys at the very, very basic level that don't have that experience are, getting paid. The scale is huge, and you talk about piping as an art, teaching and performing. Who gives a fuck if you're the Glenfiddich champion? You're going to get paid £200 for a wedding, and if you're fucking, someone that can string together Amazing Grace fairly well with your pipes out of tune, you're still going to get paid £200 for a wedding. No one knows the fucking difference. That's why we need to bag and tag them, register them, and make sure we clamp down on that shit.
Bag and tag. Hold on.
Our entire chain rant philosophy has now been verified by Cameron.
That might be the new title too. That's a good one too.
I think the second part of that question of like, does it detract or help by expanding? I think it actually does both. I just think it does one more than the other.
Well, I have a follow-up question about this. As a teacher, and you guys are both obviously instructors, now being in Scotland might be very different than the U.S., but we get
the food's
so
shit
many,
and the internet's shit.
Well, yeah, but we get so many fuckwits that come to, like, even the dojo potentially, or wherever, to me personally, and like, hey, I saw this guy play fucking a shit version of Thunderstruck, and I want to do that. Like,
go fuck yourself.
That's so annoying to like. Yeah. That's the downside I see. Like the Chili Pipers are great and everything, but people come in want to play Avicii or whatever the fuck that tune is.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's not really what I do, man. Like, I'll teach you to play pipes.
I will exclude
theoretically correctly.
I'll exclude the Chili Pipers from that group. Like we talk about like the Chili's, the Goddesses, the Unipiper, etc. And
yeah,
actually,
different levels.
We're actually trying to get a lot of these people on the show, but not the Chili's. I don't care about talking to them. They're too good for this.
Unlike these two good gentlemen.
Yeah, but like I was listening to I think it was episode before last of Rab's show. And he was interviewing yet another Chili because I'm assuming,
I believe,
because apparently they have 72 people in their band.
They do. So they rotate it.
He'll never run out of Chili's to interview.
No. Rab Matheson used to be in the Chili's, or has.
We gotta get Rab. But yeah, one of the things that they talked about in that episode was the fact that all the people that play in that fucking band compete. They play in
very good.
Yeah, they play in grade 1 bands. They do solo contests.
Most of them went to the conservatory, right?
Yeah, like it's not just.
Now they do it.
It's not a bunch of like,
not so much.
They don't compete, or they didn't go to the conservatory.
Neither.
Oh, okay. Neither. But technically that person could just play fairly well, set on their own.
They're good players. That we're moving on too quick from the next section. That's the fact check Josh section.
Someone's got to do it, and Camille's she's in the chat right now. So Ozzy is usually my fact checker, but if you guys want to do it live, keep in mind.
I have notes on 117 episodes, man.
My God!
You've gone wildly overboard in some of this.
Keep in mind, I don't have a lot of bagpiping community knowledge because I have better shit to do.
He's too busy. I don't know what he's too busy doing. He's not working.
Heat off it with his ambidextrous hands.
He's too busy jerking off.
Well, trust me, you got to get your own. They charge me double at the shooting range to practice that. It's very difficult.
I was interjecting there because you're talking about the Chili Pipers, and I definitely wasn't talking about the Chili Pipers when I was slagging, the mass pleasers off. The Chili Pipers have done, I believe, a great service to piping with young people, etc. When you're talking about people that walks in and says, "I want to learn Avicii and stuff," you can say, "Well, you're in the wrong fucking place," or you can say, "You're in the right place because I'm going to teach you how to play Avicii, but before you get to that, we're going to do some wax on, wax off shit."
I'll teach you how to play Avicii after 2 years of basics.
Yeah, exactly. If you can wash my car 12 times, then we'll get onto that
there.
stuff.
I love it.
But the Chili's, you've got guys in there that, in fact, are not competitive pipers, are not doing that, but they're touring musicians. They're touring musicians at a very high level, and young guys as well. I wasn't buttoning to do this service. Just that you can.
I'm pretty sure we heard. I'm pretty sure we heard Cameron say that the Chili Pipers are a bunch of cunts. I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying.
Seriously, you're gonna get us on this? You're gonna get us on this again?
Just kidding.
No. There goes us getting our free theme song from
Pipesdrums.com headline: Cameron Drummond called. No, we're just kidding. We'll bleep that out. Don't worry. Wait.
Hit the bell.
No, obviously, no. That was definitely a different thing. Like, there's a definite level between
that's
Chili's
the thing.
And the
like in Rab's question, he includes them, but I think they should be excluded from that separate group. Like playing flaming bagpipes on a U-cycle shittily in a Darth Vader mask, like that's not the same.
We've got to get that guy on the show.
I'm really trying to. I'm really trying to work that angle.
I want to know. I just want to ask him, like, what the fuck?
I just want to know, like, have you ever played in a band? Like, at what point in your career did someone not say stop?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
That's the other thing about that the NHS video and stuff. Like, happy days, she's raising money, but I looked at it because I actually listened to the podcast as I was running. I was trying to picture it in my head. I was like, "Fucking hell, I need to get back and actually watch this video."
Oh, the video is way worse than the song.
It's bad.
She must use some amount of propane for the flaming effect. I'm pretty sure she just has rammed flaming rods down her drones. I don't think there's like any sort of hookup to some sort of flame. I think she's
need to see this.
I think she's just rammed like flaming things into her fucking pipes.
The closest we've ever gotten was taping a lighter to Fusco's butthole, and that produced similar flames.
Blue Angel?
She's definitely like air piping for sure in the video.
Yeah, it's not and it's like it's all sampled too. Yeah, all sampled. Like it's just. I mean, we shit talk this fairly often on the show.
We beat this to death.
just the fact that, like, yeah, if you got flames shooting out of your pipes or you're on a U-cycle, I'll tell you what, dude. If you can play like fucking, not even like Stuart Little, if you can play like Daryl Calvillo, like a very superb. What is he, grade 1 now or grade 2?
Technically pro, but
yeah. Like if you can play like him while riding unicycle, I'm not gonna or shooting flames out of your bagpipes, I'm not gonna give you shit. Like, okay, you can fucking play and you just want to up the ante. No worries.
Yeah.
But
trying to make a living down on the docks.
For the most part, it's more ante than playing. It's more like, oh, I can't play for shit, but what if I do it jumping off of a fucking bridge? Like,
that's what I need to see. Cameron jumping off a bridge with his bagpipes. Playing Highland
Wedding. We need some of the like the circus style bagpipers. We need a video of them jumping off a bridge just without cords.
No cords attached. Yes. Oh, I love it.
So we have a second part to Rab's question. or a second question, really. He asks if you guys have experience playing with Highland dancers, and is it a different skill set?
I've done it a little bit.
You guys play pipes. Have you ever played with a Highland dancer?
I played once, and it was terrible. And I vowed never to do it again. So I've never done it again. It's a different skill, and it doesn't matter if you can play strathspeys and reels or hornpipes or jigs or anything like that. It's a completely different skill. And, I think there are guys who are great at it. Donald McPhee to me is a great, not only just piper, but a Highland dancer piper as well. He's got a great CD for it, but I think it's a separate, unique skill apart from just being a bagpiper. You're switched on, and again, it's you're not playing in a band or you're not playing solos. You're playing for these dancers, however many of them are going to be competing, that are relying on you to be as steady as possible and do a job. And I don't want that responsibility. So
yeah, playing to a beat and playing a lot faster than maybe we would normally want to do. Yeah.
What do you think, Cammy Poo?
Yeah, I've never really done it. Like, seen Donald
you played
McPhee
with dancers. Come on, we know the story.
Well, we're talking about bagpipes, not sex.
Sorry, wrong question.
No, not really. I think the last time I did it was probably when I was about 16 at Hogmanay. I used to have a gig at a Balmoral hotel in Edinburgh, and I was just along to make a couple of bucks and played away. I've never done the standing out in the field and playing for dancers. And to be honest, any time I've been at that sort of scenario, I've been competing solos and stuff like that, and I've heard you hear it from a distance. Now it's either on a tape and it's good. It's either Donald McPhee and it's good. It's either Alistair Mackenzie and it's good, or unfortunately, it's the local tatty farmer, and he's hamming it through, and his reeds gurgling, and sounds like a fucking bag of cats, and that's not a great thing for the dancers, right?
I wouldn't think so. How
It's
does that
only
guy get
ever
hired?
stuck out when I've heard it when it's terrible, But I've never done it.
I looked into it here just as a way to make an extra buck because they do pay to do dance competitions. I don't remember how much they pay. It's probably not very much.
It's not a lot, but you play a fucking lot.
Like, at least on the West Coast Dance Association, whatever, I know that you're supposed to, like, I think there's a requirement you have to be at least a grade 1 soloist.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true everywhere.
No
but
way.
obviously not. But
Well, and it's don't get me wrong, because we hire, like, for our dance contest, for example, in the Vegas games, like, we pay for the piper as part of the expense for doing Highland dance.
Right.
Dude, they play a lot.
They play a lot.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
that's a lot. That's a lot of playing for a day.
For $100.
It's not bad pay by any means, but holy shit! Like I looked at that before and I was like, I don't think I want to play that much for that little. Not in this town. Like,
yeah.
Fusco, so you've played for and with Highland dancers. What are your thoughts?
I mean, same. It is definitely a different skill set. You got to play faster. You got to be incredibly steady and try not to fuck up because you don't want to ruin what they're doing, right? But I don't know. It's definitely a different skill set. It's hard.
I actually enjoy it thoroughly.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I would like to credit what little ability I have to play strathspeys to playing with dancers.
Why is that?
Is that when you're behind the stage, Josh?
Yeah.
Behind the stage.
Yeah, shooting his gun.
No, like the few, like I've done it.
It's a little hornpipe. It's a little hornpipe, I'll bet.
Yeah. Tuning the old bass drone, as it were.
I might take the glasses off for this hornpipe.
But no, like I actually thoroughly enjoyed it just because I feel like it helps. It helps me. Like it helped me when I was not understanding strathspeys based just on like the math of the time signature and all that kind of shit. It helped me understand more of like the feel of a strathspey because I was like watching someone jump up and down, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, okay, just play to that person. The dancer became the pipe major foot for me. I was like, okay, just fucking if they jump higher, slow down a bit. If they fucking jump lower, speed up. Like
trying to defy gravity.
Jump higher. If they jump higher, I'll hold the note longer.
Yeah, it's like it's a difference between like now
keep in mind,
or like like when you're playing for the little fucking kids, dude. Like it's impossible.
You gotta like the people you would have played for would have been like incredible amateurs. So
well, it was like I played for like kids, and then like
really
Tara's not Tara. No, who was the was it Brimhall?
Terrorists?
Yeah, it might have been.
Terrorists.
he definitely has.
I played for ISIS.
Okay.
I was in the Mohammedan district pipe band.
Do you tap
I played with
4
those guys.
beats in the bar or 2?
I didn't tap any beats. I used the fucking foot of the other person. I was like, okay, this is how fast you want to fucking go. Oh, you're getting tired? You're getting tired now? Okay. Like,
yeah, but with kids and like people that are inexperienced, they might follow you. It might be your fault. It's very impossible.
I mean, it turned out okay. Yeah. It's the same thing like
for
when
Las Vegas Highland
It
Dance.
was the same thing. Well, yeah, fucking Vegas Highland dancing, but like it's the same thing when I would play with like drummers, and I'm like, motherfucker, it's your solo contest. Like you change the tempo. Nice. I'm playing to you. Like it's not my solo. It's yours. Like you take the lead, asshole. Show me that drummer rhythm.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, I would agree.
How often do you play for snare drummers, or did you get fired?
I played for Zach for like 1 season, and he won a couple awards, and then nobody else asked me.
Yeah, it's probably your fault.
Probably. Isn't everything? Isn't this the Fuck Josh episode of the podcast?
Apparently, I didn't realize it was, but I swear I didn't set this up, but this is great.
Okay, so thank you for your questions, Rab. I feel like we've hit it. I mean,
we beat that horse to death.
Yeah, it is a different skill set, I would say, and these guys can't do it. So if you're a dancer and you need a piper,
don't call Glenn.
Call me. Call
Cam Dizzle.
Yeah, don't call any of these assholes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe we're not even through fucking news and updates yet.
Oh my god, this is
Okay, I'm gonna blow through this. So our friend Piping Jim sent us an email in February about this whole thing. Have you guys gotten like weird requests for gigs? Like, hey,
Josh, can you let me know when I can go for a piss?
Yes, I will let you know. It'll be in about 90 minutes. So
just piss in that bottle.
So, well, wait. Okay, so I'm going to ask this question. Glenn will answer first, and then you can piss and then come back and answer. So this guy, you get weird requests for gigs. Like, hey, my grandfather died fighting the ISIS and District Pipe Band. Can you play Hava Nagila at his funeral? Like, weird shit, right? That doesn't really fit on bagpipes necessarily. So think of a weird thing, Cameron, that someone's asked you to play, and then go take a piss. So Piping Jim says, I thought you guys might get a kick out of this. To be fair, it's kind of an intentional fail, but a fail nonetheless. A few months ago, I got a funeral request. I like taking special requests for weddings and funerals. I think it's fun to try to get non-bagpipe songs to work on pipes. It's not. Stop doing it. Rarely does it go well, but when it does work out, it's a lot of fun. For me, I know I'm probably in the minority here. Anyway, this funeral request came, and here's basically how the conversation went via text. Fusco, do you want to be customer or piper?
I'll be piper.
Okay. Could you play Memories at the Graveside before you do Amazing Grace?
I'll be happy to look into it. To be sure, this is the song from Broadway show Cats, correct?
No, Memories by Barry Manilow. Here I did a quick Googling. Barry Manilow did cover the song Memory from Cats, but not everyone is quite so cultured, so I made no mention of it.
I sure can. It can work on the pipes, but it might sound a little funny. Don't get me wrong, I'm there to serve you. I'll play anything you like, but the tune does sound a little funky on the pipes.
We definitely want you to play it Memories. It was his favorite song. He loved Barry Manilow, and he loved that song. Of all the fucking Barry Manilow songs? Really?
Absolutely. I totally understand. I'm honored to be part of the ceremony. I'll do anything you'd like to make it special. Believe me, I only bring it up precisely because I'd like the small part I play in your ceremony to help people think of your dad in a positive way, and I would hate to be a distraction. There are a lot of great tunes, and then I give them a list of links to YouTube videos of typical funeral bagpipe tunes, Going Home, Highland Cathedral, etc.
We like Highland Cathedral. Let's have you do Highland Cathedral, Memories, and then Amazing Grace, like you said. I usually play Amazing Grace as I walk away from a funeral, so I fade away as gracefully as one can do on pipes.
Absolutely. You bet. Believe me, I'm perfectly happy to do it. Just to be sure, because I want this to be perfect for you and your family. Here's a recording of me playing Memories. Should I insert that here? Because you
not
sent us the
yet,
audio.
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the pipes. Then I sent her the attached audio file. I also sent her one with no drones because that makes it slightly better, but it still sounds terrible. I won't bore you with more than the one recording. They received the recording and were silent for about 12 minutes. Then the simple response.
So here's the recording he sent of him trying to play Memories.
Oof, Jesus Christ. He should have put his drones in V, don't you think?
I gotta say this.
Go to the answer, though.
Oh, yeah. So the customer says, yeah, maybe let's just do Highland Cathedral and Amazing Grace.
It was
Yeah, so this is the rest of the email. It was a successful funeral after all, because nobody additionally died, I'm assuming. Needless to say, I'm glad I persisted with questioning the wisdom of that tune choice. For my sake and for the sake of all the mourners at well, keep up the great show, guys. I love it. I nearly caught up on listening now. It's been an awesome ride. So real quick, I do want to say this. For playing a tune that is garbage to begin with, and also not intended for bagpipes, that was a decent try.
Yeah, I mean, it was awful, but it was a good try.
Because one, you're taking a tune that already sucks donkey balls. Like, Memory sucks. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, Cats fans. Go fuck yourself. It's a bad song. Judi Dench, go lick your own fake CGI cat pussy. Like, it's not good. Then trying to put it on bagpipes where it does not translate whatsoever. Given all those restrictions, it was a decent attempt, but holy fucking shit, dude.
I think, Glenn, you might know more about this. You guys might know more about this. I've seen one guy do this in my life. If he had tuned his drones to B instead of A, this might have worked. What do you think?
Yeah, possibly. My favorite part about that was the cutoff.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, when it finished.
Yeah, the best part was when it was over.
The best part is at the end of the recording where you hear a gunshot in the background.
This guy's killing himself. This is almost as bad as the time I had to play Star Wars for this guy who bought this insanely expensive car and wanted Star Wars.
What did the boys say at the beginning? You can be fucking Stuart Little, or you can be some jag down the street. You're still getting 200 pounds for the gig, dude.
That's a good point.
It's true.
It's true.
So the question I wanted to pose is I'm gonna go across the room. So I'm gonna start with Cameron, then go to Glenn, then to Fusco. But
You don't need my opinion.
I don't care about your opinion, but I figure we should add it for color.
All right.
What do you think? Like, what is the weirdest thing that is a non-bagpipe tune that you got a request for? And did you tell them to go fuck themselves, or like divert them in a correct direction, or did you do it?
Or did you cash that check?
Yeah, did you cash?
Bling, bling,
did you
motherfucker.
cash that fucking check?
I think for me it was probably back when I was at university, and it was You'll Never Walk Alone. I think it's a big Celtic thing. So I was in university in Glasgow and trying to make a couple of bucks doing piping gigs, doing a little bit of teaching and stuff. And it was a funeral, a young guy, and it was a Celtic fan. It was You'll Never Walk Alone. And it's an easy one to knot together. And it was, absolutely no bother. And happy to do it. Kind of fits on the pipes, and it was absolutely fine. Like there's other stuff that comes in. That's
Could you play that for us right now
Yeah.
on your practice channel? I don't know if I know that one.
No, I can't. No,
It's like, no, fuck off.
because I don't know it. I don't know it. It's like I don't follow football. I didn't understand the significance of it at the time. But I fucking.
Is it not a big Liverpool song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
So
I've seen the Indian post that.
as I transition to Glenn, same question but more interesting answer. Go.
Yeah, I've got a couple stories to tell here. So, and those aren't necessarily tunes, but just experiences. So Blair and I, my twin, I think we were going to the World Solo Drumming, not 2019, 2018. And the cab driver said to me, because we were in our uniforms, obviously, and the cab driver said his son was getting married, and could he book me for the wedding? And what would my rate be? And I said, well, it depends how long you'd need me for. He says, oh, we'll come to that in a minute. Like, just give me a ballpark figure. And I said, I don't know, 150 pounds. And he went, okay, you're hired. And I said, well, what does it entail? And he said, basically, we'll pick you up at 6 a.m. and on a bus, on a coach, and so we can pick the whole family up. And the wedding's going to be in Birmingham, and we're going to stop at service stations on the way down, and you can play tunes for us all the way down. And then when we get to Birmingham, there's going to be a horse and carriage, horse and buggy, and you will play on the horse and buggy while the bride and groom get on, and then you'll get off the other side. And I said, I'm not sure about this, pal. Like, I think we're talking like maybe like £1,000 for that kind of gig.
And a blowjob.
Like, no. You said 150 pounds. You said 150. So the guy's wanting a fucking 24-hour job for 150 pounds.
Birmingham, England, right?
Yes.
From Glasgow.
Yes. From
Jesus
Glasgow.
Fuck.
You're talking, it's going to be an 8-hour drive, or say maybe 6 hours. I don't know. But on top of that, on a coach, as part of an Indian wedding, and stopping at all these service stations while everybody gets off for a piss and you get the pipes out and play tunes. So that was my first story.
That
second story.
So did you do it though? Did it end up happening?
No, I never.
He didn't pay you the £1,000.
Right. Yeah. So my second
also
story
known as 1,200 American.
This does not actually involve me, and it's kind of it's a very bizarre story. But I've done a couple of workshops with the NYPD pipe band, okay, in New York. And this guy, I don't know if I should name the guy.
I gotta assume the drummers and the NYPD band are amazing.
Why is that?
Because they're great at beating the fuck out of things.
Oh my god. This is not time appropriate. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Somebody beep that.
So this guy was playing for a fallen officer, right? So it was a big funeral procession at, I think it was St. Patrick's Cathedral, like the big one on, I think it's Fifth Avenue, like the big, beautiful church. And so he was playing what he thought was supposed to be Amazing Grace. And he played the casket into the church. And a passerby on the street, just a local guy, walked up and said, "Did you just play Here Comes the Bride as they carried the casket into the church?" And he was like, "No, I played Amazing Grace." And the guy was like, "I'm pretty sure you played Here Comes the Bride." Because they both start hum,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Fuck, I need to get out of my uniform as quick as possible no one knows that it was me playing the bagpipes." Like,
did he actually fuck it up?
Mortified. Oh yeah, he was. Then he knew that he had played "Here Comes the Bride" as they were taking the fucking casket, the coffin into the church, right?
Oh my.
Terrible. And then the guys tell me this, and I was like, "Holy fuck, man! I've never heard anything like this." And then finally, this past year, I got a call to do a funeral on Rabbi Burns Day, and I thought they were going to ask me to play like Burns tunes, right? Which I was, not really funeral kind of request, but fair enough. And the lady said to me, she wanted to give me a bit of background. So her mom died on Christmas Day, which is shitty, right? And they held off for a month because there's family from different parts of the UK that could come to the funeral. And so she said, she'd never organized a funeral before, and could I recommend tunes? I said, sure, no probs. She said, can you give me 10 tunes? And so I wrote her an email and I said, here's a list of kind of slow airs or laments that are common. And I gave my phone number. So she phoned me and she said, I've looked through your tunes and we really don't want Amazing Grace or Highland Cathedral because they're too commercial. But we're wondering if you could play some Elvis. My mom really loved it. And I said...
The copyright notice is in the mail.
I said, I don't want to be like funny or rude here, but what are you looking for? Like blue suede shoes or, Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog or Heartbreak Hotel?
You haven't heard like the Elvis funeral march? It's like, oh, I'm sorry you're dead. It sucks to be dead.
And she
maybe
said,
you should have worshipped Jesus instead.
She said, no, maybe I'll get in touch with my sister and we'll think of some Elvis tracks. And I said, well, look, I'm not sure I'm the guy for the job. And if you really want this, I will be able to maybe track someone down who can do that for you. But I'm not sure I'm going to be the guy. And she came back and she said, okay, scrap Elvis. But my mom really loved this tune called The Fairy Lullaby. So I had to YouTubed and I found Stuart Little playing The Fairy Lullaby as like an instructional video for one of his students. And I learned it off that. And that's literally all I played at the wedding. Sorry, not the wedding, the funeral. Not Here Comes the Bride. The Fairy Lullaby.
Well, if Stuart Little does it, it's automatically approved.
There you go. Yeah. So sorry, I have to interject before I get Fusco's horror story of this topic, because the best comment to ever come through a live stream came on your first story, Glenn, when you're talking about like riding the bus all across and everything. And Stefan says they would be told to get a spoon and eat my ass.
Here's a spoon.
That is a great 10
response.
points. 10 points to that comment. I don't know who's tracking. I'm assuming Aussie, but 10 points, Stefan.
I'm going to tell you another story based on that comment. Do you know what that's from?
No, I have no idea.
I believe it's from an American Pie movie.
I remember it from my 21st birthday, but continue.
American Pie movie?
I think it's from an American Pie movie where I think it's Stifler or somebody goes, here's a spoon so you can eat my ass. Now,
there you go.
It's been so long since I've seen this.
So is that the next? Is that in the Chanarant Summer Collection? We'll have a shirt that says "Here's a spoon." There's no context.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, here's the story: is my brothers and I played for 78 Frasers around the time that this movie came out, right? And we were doing a concert. I'm going to say in like Virginia or somewhere, and we had traveled down on a bus, and the bus had stopped for a piss break or whatever to go into the convenience store or to the gas station. And I can't remember what Ken Eller said, the captain. Mm-hmm. He made some joke, and Graham, my older brother, turned to him and went, "Hey Ken, here's a spoon so you can eat my ass." And all the fucking young guys in the band are cracking. We're like pissing ourselves, and Ken's just like, "Huh. No one's ever said that to me before." And it's just like, where do you even fucking go with that, man? Here's a spoon. All right, Stefan, he's got it, man. Here's a spoon so you can eat my ass. Wow.
So next bad sheets we get from Ed, we'll just be like, "Hey Ed, here's a spoon."
Or Ken. It'll be actually
yeah,
funny.
It could be.
Ken comes to the Vegas games.
Well, it's like
every
Ken
year.
comes down.
Yeah, Ken Eller comes to the games every year.
We gotta get some of these sons of bitches that come down to Vegas to get on the show, man. Ken, Carlisle, like some, all the
Ken
people
would
that
be
we've
great, man.
all the people that we've talked shit to.
I don't think he would ever do
relentlessly.
it, but he might.
Jim,
If we trick him, Jim Sim might.
we might be able to get Jim.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, now that we have these two semi-legends on the show, anyone will come.
You guys have just legitimized us. I hope you realize.
You guys, hey, the piping community's days of not taking us seriously are certainly coming to a middle.
I'm pretty sure I could talk Ken into
Could you?
doing the show.
That would be
Well, we couldn't even get Cameron without you as an accountability buddy. So
Cameron's working on Stephen McWhorter for me.
He needed a safety blanket.
Cameron, I've got a deal for you, buddy.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
If you can get Stephen McWhorter on the show,
We'll send you a shirt that says, "Here's a spoon."
No. I got a better deal. We will advertise your new fucking venture.
That's true. We do have to
like-
get into the fucking venture.
once a week
This is going to be such a long episode.
for the next.
I don't hate it.
I don't know, 6 months. I don't know.
I'm having too much fun to care about the length.
We'll do it for free. I will talk about your thing every week
You'll get a 6-week ad run
for free.
for free.
Just get Stephen McWhorter to call in somehow.
Just to get Stephen McWhorter to call in and tell us we're
Tell
assholes.
us to go fuck ourselves. That's all I need him to say on air.
He'd enjoy that, and I'm sure he's up for it.
The man seems to have a sense of humor. He just doesn't
Just not
realize
with
that
us.
he doesn't realize we have the same sense of humor.
Yeah, he's got similar sensibilities. He just doesn't know it yet.
Okay, so going along this topic because I'm deadly interested in this. I think it's fun. Fusco.
Yeah.
Fucking weird ass tune that you got suggested, like the most off the wall shit. And did you take the check? How did it work out?
Oh, I always take the check.
Well, that's because you're a whore.
Well, lately I might start to think twice about it because I'm not as broke as I used to be.
That's true. You have been working a lot lately.
I've been working.
We flipped roles. You're in charge of buying the booze now for the show. By the way,
Years ago, I was a little less doing less well. But I mean, we've all heard the story of me doing the Star Wars thing for the guy that bought this insanely expensive car, and he wanted me to play as the car came off the truck. Why, I have no idea, but we've heard that story. I was asked at a wedding to play this Josh Groban song. What's his like popular?
I raise you
guy,
up.
That guy can cover 2 octaves.
Raise
What
You
the
Up.
fuck?
Yes, it was Raise You Up, and I'm like, I kind of figured it out, but it doesn't cover the whole range, and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be rough, man.
So what was the occasion?
It was a wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. It's certainly possible. It's just one of those ones because it changes octaves. You have to jump back down, and it doesn't really work.
It doesn't
and it's weird.
translate. Yeah.
It's kind of like trying to play the fucking Navy tune or whatever. It just doesn't
Anchors
really,
Away. Yeah. Anchors Away doesn't work well on just normal GHB. Like
No.
it doesn't happen.
But I did
Is
attempt
that
it.
what they play at the Virginia Tattoo, the Anchors Away thing?
Oh yeah,
It's like da dum
Fuck.
bum ba dum ba.
yeah.
The problem is the pipes can't do all the notes. It's like a fucking trumpet tune. Like
well, it's just a normal
brass. It's a
American
brass
yeah,
tune.
brass tune.
Yeah,
But so it
so
doesn't.
it
When you've
starts.
only
It
got
starts
9
halfway
notes.
through one octave and then jumps up, and it's like motherfucker.
But they do it, which is interesting. Because like, why pick that tune? Why not pick like Marine Corps Hymn, which works on the pipes, or Army? Like those are the two that work on the pipes.
Well, because not everything is the Army or the Marines.
No, I understand that, but like at the Virginia Tattoo, I don't know who said it. One of them said it. They specifically play the Navy.
Speaking
tune
of
with
which,
the pipes. Why, I don't
when are
know.
we going to get the official Space Force tune? I'm waiting on
I
this.
can't wait. Yeah,
Or is it just going to be the Star Wars theme? We can't afford to buy
Somebody's
that from
gotta-
John Williams. There's no way.
they got to find out a way to bring John Philip Sousa back to life, and he can write the Space Force tune.
Space Force anthem.
Actually, guys, you guys want to make $1 million? Write the Space Force anthem, submit it to whoever. I don't know who.
Chanarant@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Netflix show or the
No.
actual film?
No, I'm
Actual
talking about.
Space Force.
I'm talking about our government is legitimately trying to create
No,
a
it
Space
exists.
Force.
It exists.
Like it's a branch of our government now.
It exists. The Air Force Academy this year graduated their students, and like 70 people went to the Space
Went to the
Force.
Space Force.
Yeah, they had the option to join the Space Force out of the Air Force Academy. It's for real.
Granted, we've had a Space Force before. It was just like dogs and monkeys and shit. So
Yeah, it was NASA essentially.
Astronauts.
But anyway, we're way off topic here. What are we talking about?
So we're talking about the weird shit that
Let's
you,
get to
that you got
hashtag crush
asked
the
to play.
puss. I want to talk to the
I
camera.
want to chime in and bring it back around to Glenn. You know, because you slide off my shit story for the funeral guy, which is pretty harsh and pretty it's a profound moment in my life, and you kind of shat on it. But we're talking about.
Was that because the guy wish he could have died twice?
I don't know. I don't know. Fuck,
I played this tune. It was the first time I ever saw a corpse shoot itself.
It was anyway, great send off. He was looking down and thinking it was a fucking great day, you know.
What a great comment! That is the greatest comment we've ever had. Go ahead. Sorry.
Highland Wedding is the craziest tune I've ever played at a funeral. So I got asked for Highland Wedding, right? So Glenn's talking. He's played in 90% of his career in
pipe band.
Competitive career in shots. I got asked for Highland Wedding through.
Competitive is a strong word in shots, but okay, continue.
What career?
Competitive.
What's the
competitive shots?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I got this thing. His favorite tune was Highland Wedding, and he wants it played at his funeral. I was like, okay,
fair enough.
Sure. Are you sure? And this was through a third party, so it wasn't direct to the family. I was like, okay, look, let's just be clear. Are you talking Highland Cathedral?
Yeah.
Because the guy wasn't a piper. The guy wasn't, he just liked the pipes and stuff like that. So Highland something. And it was getting kind of mixed messages like
sure.
Highland. No, it's definitely Highland Wedding. I was like, fuck it out. Okay, right. I'll play Highland Wedding, but how do you adapt Highland Wedding to the context of playing a dead body down the aisle of a church? So I was like, fuck it out. So I played outside and stuff, and then I'd been thinking about it and thinking at the last minute someone's going to run up to me and say it's Highland Cathedral, it's Highland Cathedral, whoa, But no, I fucking ended up playing hey, hello, hey, bro, hurry, hey, bro, hey, bro. Kind of as empathetically as I could as the coffin passed down. Fair enough. If that's your favourite tune, if you want to go down to the march, I play people up the aisle to that when they've got married. But if you want to die to that and commit yourself to the grave, then fair enough. Anyway.
I would, to be quite honest, if Stuart Little played his version of Highland Wedding at my funeral, I'd be very excited.
Yeah, so
I'd be dead, so I wouldn't.
So my worst one was I had a wedding where they asked me to play the fucking Boondock Saints theme, and I cashed the check.
Is that a thing? I don't even.
It's like da 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 da, and it's fucking violin. So like it was a close approximation. Let me put it this way. It was also a shotgun wedding, so I wasn't too worried about it. And it was like out at Lake Las Vegas, so like charged for the drive, cash a check, and just called it a day.
Nobody's gonna know.
But like on the other side, I remember like my aunt, when my aunt died, she wanted me to. She had the band play, and I played at her funeral. My Aunt Sally, and she requested a hornpipe. I played Pumpkin's Fancy at my aunt's wedding. She was like, no sad tunes.
That's fair.
She's like, no sad tunes. Fuck that shit. She was also like a teamster and shit. So I have never seen more old people drunk than at that funeral at the Teamster Hall, because they were
no joke.
They went to like 8 bottles of Patron and scotch and beer and all kinds of shit, dude. They were fucking lit. It was insane. Okay, so I appreciate you guys charming us with these stories. Real quick, Fusco, are you ready for some housekeeping?
Oh, we're just getting to housekeeping now?
We have the return.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
The return of the Chanderant Patreon raffle. If you are a subscriber, if you're one of those people who pays $5 a month, be one of our patrons. We are bringing back the raffle. I don't know why it went away. I'm assuming just because we were too busy.
Busy and lazy.
Yeah. So this raffle is for a Chanderant t-shirt of your choice.
Yep. Any merch other than expensive stuff.
Fusco has nothing expensive, because come on, guys,
we're broke.
Like, it's a shoestring. It's a shoestring budget around here, right? Fusco has shuffled all of the patrons who have not won in the past,
and I got a winner that has not won.
And our winner is
Eric Estes.
Hey, cheers, Eric,
from Indiana.
So Eric, we're gonna send you an email, and then pick a shirt you want, and we're gonna mail it to you in 1 to 74 business days.
Yes. Don't get excited, because I still haven't mailed Eric Evan House's shirt out yet, but I have it. Eric, I've gotten as far as having it.
We gotta slow down the Evan House shirt delivery because I don't want to see that shit on Cops, Utah. Like,
Exactly.
it's gonna be live PD, and I'm gonna see a fucking pink bearded clown man being arrested in a Chana Ranch shirt. I don't know if I'm okay with that. Real quick, also we have a little bit of a news thing. So the Wake miniband contest. Do you have some context on this?
I do. Either of you guys friends with Joe Brady?
Is anybody ever?
Because
Yeah, you guys know. Everybody knows fucking Joe Brady. You can't.
Everybody knows Joe Brady, but is anybody friends with Joe Brady? Like, when do we find his secret porn dungeon?
I love Joe Brady.
I love Joe Brady too.
But he's organizing. I don't want to call it the Joe Brady contest, but that's essentially what it is. But it's called Band Ready. It's a mini band.
I thought it was Brady Fest 2021.
Brady Fest. That's a great name. That's actually what they should call it. But he's doing a mini band contest because we're all about to go back to being able to be with at least with 10 people. So he intentionally kept the numbers to a mini band contest: 4 pipers, 2 sides, a tenor, and a bass. So that we can have, because they're doing all these solo online contests.
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know, Glenn, you're probably judging some of these, I imagine. But why not do like a mini band one? Like keep people moving, right? And we're in the U.S., at least Nevada, anyway. We're definitely going back to putting people back together again.
Well, for now.
For now, we'll see.
Yeah,
But
second wave will hit. Don't worry.
yeah, but that's okay. But for now, Joe's taking advantage of the the calm and wants to put it out there. So go to All of the Six on Facebook. You can find Joe's post and you can submit your interest in this contest.
Yeah, so All of the Six is our public fan group. If you're one of our listeners, you should join. That's the place where you can, not hide as much as you normally do if you're a Channeran fan.
Right. If you really want to hide, don't join it. But otherwise,
But yeah, Joe posted in there interest submissions for their Band Ready Bands Joe Brady Fest 2020 fucking mini band contest.
we're gonna do this.
Yes, we are. I don't care if it's just me, you, and fucking Marcy. I don't care. We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. We got 2 sides. We got 4 pipers. We have a bass. I don't know about a tenor. but-
Anybody that doesn't want to participate will be summarily executed.
But yeah, no. So this is great. It's the first foray into some sort of band something.
Yeah, and I'm actually interested in the opinion of you two, drunk loons.
Who?
Me? The guests.
Oh, them.
The guests on the show. I don't care about your opinion. I hear it all the time.
Okay.
Your opinion is exhausting to me. It's like a fucking broken air conditioner. Like it just whirs and whirs and whirs, and I have to ignore it all day.
Absolutely.
No, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think that online contests will stay moving forward just because it's so much more fiscally responsible not to have to fucking... Well, and you guys don't have as much of an issue as we do here, but like for us, it's like, fuck. You drive like 6 hours, pay for 3 nights of a hotel to play for 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
You know, like... Do you guys think that that's going to be a thing that just stays? Online contests will be permanent from now on?
just like to interject there. Glenn Brown is definitely not a drunken loon. He stays hydrated. He stays refreshed. There's no way you can have sex with 9 women in a day if you're on the bevy. Just to
wait. Whoa, this is a legendary stat. Hold on, I'm writing this down. We'll get back to this.
Yeah, we'll get back to the cocksmanship. Dirtbag Olympics 5.
Just saying. Moving on to the online competitions. What was the question? Sorry.
Do you think this is the wave of the future?
Yeah. Do you think the lack of personal cost will make them more accessible to people that don't, they want to take a day off work, they don't have to travel, they don't have to pay for hotel, they don't have to do all this shit?
You're right. Yeah, I think the international engagement of online competition is destined to say. I don't think there's a direct comparison to be had with turning up to Highland Games in Scotland as a very, very different thing. However, competitive piping is definitely going to go down both routes. I think Glenn will agree that what we call the big ones, the big competitions, will stay as they are and should stay as they are. However, there's massive scope to open up to online entries from all over the world to be judged by the very best of judges in the world as well, and to play for big prizes. I think the technology is a bit of a leveler where your setup and recording equipment and things like that can come into question a little bit, because there's definitely guys that know how to do that, and there's definitely guys that don't know how to do that. And
can you forward us the guys who know how to do its name so they can help us set up our show? Because we were struggling. We were struggling pretty hard.
If you'd told me what was happening tonight with more than 30 seconds notice, I would have set up a couple of mics to cover my dulcet tones. And we could have gone from there. Yeah, it doesn't take much though, Josh, does it? It doesn't take much. A couple of fuckwits in a room with a couple of laptops, and you can be worldwide within a matter of seconds. But,
world's worst bagpiping podcast, buddy.
For now. On the way up, baby. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point that you made, though. Like, and I kind of want to present a broader question to all three of you. Okay, can you decentralize piping competition? Can you make it a thing that doesn't have to necessarily be tied to your region? Can there be?
I think that's hugely important.
Can there be like an international leaderboard?
Absolutely.
Based on online competition versus what can I fly to? What can I drive to? Am I, because I think that there's phenomenal playing across the world, mostly in the UK and Australia, but a little bit in America. And those people think they're the best because they don't get to compete against each other.
That's the great equalizer, is that now we can put people all over the world. And this is what the solo contests that are happening now is like, hey, a bunch of Americans can go play in the Peel Regional Police thing against a bunch of Canadians who are actually good, and like realize that, hey, we got to step it up.
Well, and a bunch of Aussies from Hawthorne can slap people that are in fucking UK.
Whatever, whatever it is. So it's the great equalizer, which I think there's room for both. Like Cameron mentions, like keep the majors the way they are, obviously, because there's
no replacement for sesh too.
There's something to be said about producing on the day when you need to produce.
Yeah.
But there's also something to be said for, here's our best foot forward. Let's put our video out. That's our best foot forward, because there's a little bit of both. So why not do a little bit of both? I don't know.
I think there's no wrong answer, right? Like if both things survive, it's just more playing more competition, right? I mean,
the downside.
Do you remember like fucking 72 episodes ago when Andrew Douglas put us to sleep talking about how, people compete because they want to know who's best. Like, we have the option now. Like, through technology, we could do it.
Yeah.
Without all of the stuff it takes to put on a games or a major contest in UK.
But here's the thing, especially in UK, I imagine, is that all these cities probably very much count on all the money they bring.
The revenue,
in.
yeah.
And they're not going to like it. But is that what's best for piping? Who gives a fuck?
I don't think it would stop the event from happening. Like if you okay, let's say there were 5 events within 30 minutes of us. We would go to every single one.
Right, probably. Or
whether we
even
could
2 hours.
whether we could submit online or not, we would go to all those things. I mean, the thing that becomes more of a issue is, and I'm gonna kick to you guys in a minute because you're gonna not be happy about this comment, as people in the UK and Scotland thinking that they're the only ones that can fucking judge major contests because they're not realizing that there's a barrier to entry even to get there. There's such a huge cost barrier versus taking a ferry or flying 3,000 miles to fucking compete, right? Like, I think there's a built-in stigma that bands in the UK, bands in Scotland, Northern Ireland are the best when they actually might not be. It's just everyone else can't afford to fucking go.
Or dealing with the negative consequences of having to travel that far to go.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
I mean, the vast majority of great bands just can't fucking put together the cash.
Well, Australia and New Zealand for sure. They go every couple of years because that's what they can afford.
We have American bands. American bands have a hard time getting.
Yeah,
over
but
there.
they're not very good. Like at least New Zealand bands are good.
at least Aussie and New Zealand bands are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
New Zealand
I think that there's a, and these guys are about to fucking tear me apart for this, but I'm gonna let them do it.
Cameron's like, I can see him winding up.
I think that there's a general assumption that nobody else is good because Scottish bands and Irish bands consistently win the worlds and win the majors. But it's like, yeah, nobody else can fucking afford to do it, dude. They're too far away.
So I've got a couple of thoughts on it. And the first one is this. If you're a contender, you're going to figure out a way to go to get to a live event. You know, I think the online stuff is great. And is somewhat of an equalizer because everyone would then be at the same advantage or disadvantage, right? And it can be more global. And you can, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a recording or you're in your room. Everyone's kind of at the same advantage or disadvantage. But a live event, you know, like the Worlds or the majors, the bands who are the best in the world, certainly in the top grades, they will find a way to raise the money to go. Now, when you're talking about going down the grades, kind of grade 3 and grade 4, where there are way more bands in the States and Canada and Australia, New Zealand, like all around the world, there might be the best band that doesn't go to the Worlds because they don't have the cash. And in 2011, my brothers and I did an interview with NBC that aired during the Olympics the next year. And I worked at the Piping Center at the time.
Weird flex, but continue.
Well, yeah, but so because I worked at the Piping Center, the PR team basically said, we want you to do this interview, but they didn't tell us what it was about, really. You know, they said this is when it's going to air, but they didn't say what it was about. So I can't remember the lady's name, but she does the commentary for like the U.S. Open and stuff like this. I think her name's Mary or Joe or something like this. Like
her name's Joe Brady.
That's a female.
That's the one. So she interviewed my brothers and I and asked all these sort of questions. And their last question was, what would you like to see happen to the World Championship? And my response was, I would like to see the Worlds be a world event. You know, I'd like to see it be held in America or Canada or Australia or South Africa. And I just named all these places. And
well, not South Africa, but all the other places.
Sure, whatever. You know, just imagine turning up somewhere sunny where you're not really going to have a chance of rain, that, you know, everybody's going to be at the same weather, like where Shots isn't going to play in the pissing rain, and then Bog Hall gets rained on in final tuning, but then the sun's out when they come onto the field, you know? Anyways, we all gave our answers, and I think I said, you know, even if it was every 3 years, say you had it 2 years in Glasgow and then 1 year in California, and then 2 years in Glasgow and 1 year in Melbourne or whatever. And the girl who had arranged the interview, she said, "You're a fucking dickhead. I fucking can't believe you just said that. You're fucking trash," and all this. And I was like,
wow.
Whoa. What is with the hostility? And she said, "Do you know what this interview was about?" And I said, "No." But she said it was about UK tourism.
Shouldn't have fucked her so hard.
That's their own damn fault.
Well, you should have given me a heads up, and then I wouldn't have said anything. I said, but my genuine answer is that because you have bands that might be in the middle of Missouri, that might be practicing all year, that are amazing and don't have the money to go and compete at the World Championship, but they might actually be the best band. So I do think, and as a foreigner who has moved over here, and this is now my home, but as a foreigner, you appreciate how much money it costs you to get there every year. And for the bands in Australia and New Zealand, they're spending $100,000 to get there. For one shot.
That kind of leads into my next question. So you talked about how like the top contenders, if they are in that bracket, they'll find a way to make it work. As a hypothetical, and I'm opening this up to everybody. I'm gonna start with Cameron on this one because he's been quietly drinking his ass off.
He's drinking his ass off over there.
Do you think if the World Pipe Band Championships, and that's the name, it's called the World Pipe Band Championships, it's what everyone considers, if that was held in Los Angeles, do you think that Inverary would come, Field Marshal Montgomery, Kloss-Kelt. Like, do you think the bands would make it that are more than 30 minutes out? Like,
yeah, absolutely. So the question of all these online competitions and things like that, they're all popping up. Every association is having one. Bands are having them as fundraisers, so you pay your entry, but the judges donate their time, and that's a fundraiser for the band. They're trying to plug the gap of, for example, St. Patrick's Day, the missed earnings for that sort of thing. The thing is that it's going to get so diluted that, if I could start tomorrow, the world, fucking, what was it, Tom World's fucking
Philip Worlds. Come on, get the name right. Philip put a lot of work in. Philip put a lot of work in to create the Worlds.
I'm so excited that he halfway got there.
I can't believe Cameron listens to our fucking show.
Of course I do. Like I Wikipedia'd it just before I came on just to check, and I fucked it because I've had too much to drink. But yeah, you're right, Philip. If Philip decided that everyone should follow his world title, then we should. You're talking to the current president of the CPA. There has to be some sort of governing body in charge of the competitions, because if it gets so diluted, I can enter 10 online contests in a month. That's what it's getting to, which is fair enough. Everyone's out there. Everyone wants to pay the entry fee. Everyone wants to play. Everyone's kind of looking for a gauge as to where they are at this stage in the season that isn't actually a season. But it will dilute it. Whereas if you have an organisation like the RSPBA or the CPA that decides, that takes a real big decision that says this is the premier contest. I've always thought that. When I was growing up, the world championships to me were not just in Glasgow. They were moving around, and the championships moved around, and wherever they were, I would go. The big question is, if you had a major championship in another continent, would the bands go? And I believe they would, because they would. I'd like that sort of role reversal. I've played in Australia, I've played in America, and the amount of time and effort and money these guys put into coming to Scotland, when you're over there, makes you appreciate just how important it is. And if I, had to put the same demand on my family lifestyle and bank balance to pursue, the dream of going and winning a contest, if it was the contest, the Worlds, the Philip Worlds in, Las Vegas, then you'd have to think that it would happen. It just takes the organisation and the kind of governing body, like whoever stamps the world's medal, if they decide that's where it's going to be and they put the infrastructure in place, then I think the bands would make the effort, and that would open things up to big sponsorship over here. The good Scottish bands would get sponsorship to make sure they could travel. So
I know the good Scottish bands would get sponsorship, but what about Scottish Power?
Stamp. They have enough money to fucking.
They can do whatever they want.
The best band and never win worlds.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Well, I mean, if we want to touch on that, I'm going to say yes. They're a contender. I was in the band when we were second, but
so it's your fault.
Bog Hall's been close a couple times.
Bog Hall's technically the best band that's never won, right? Because at least, no.
Kloss-Kelt for a while was the best band that ever won in the lower grades,
too,
but now they're just crushing shit because they stole all the drum corps
from everybody else. Yeah.
But in grade 1, the Powers never won. Bog Hall's never won.
So I think it's interesting, guys. I mean, I would love to maybe this sends my mind down a totally different tangent of like a decentralized pipe band network, but I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm bevved. This is how I can tell. As soon as I start trying to invent systems to replace systems, I know I'm too drunk. So, Fusco, I'm kicking it over to you.
So, okay, so I guess we're going to transition into actually. This has been, how long are we going on here?
It's over an hour and a half, but we're doing good.
That's right. So
it's good stuff. So hey, guess what? If you were a fan of the Big Rab Show and you complain when it goes over an hour, go fuck yourself. Long episodes are good.
So we haven't
and
actually...
long Rab episodes are good too. And if you don't like it, drive farther. I don't give a shit.
We haven't actually technically got to the interview part, but it's all kind of been like, let's get these guys' opinions on a bunch of nonsense. But we're gonna get to that part. So we do have some questions from the audience, questions from, I don't know, I guess us, I don't know. But, so we'll get into a little bit of those here. But, I thought what I'd start with is playing a little bit of Cameron playing. Again, Glenn was a surprise guest, so I didn't really prep for him too much. But, I do have some Cameron playing. So he plays 2 tunes here. Cameron, you'll probably recognize this.
Is one Memories?
The first one is something I want people to know, like, who played it better, Cameron or Callum? And 2, when he goes into the second tune, it's Josh's favorite tune of all time. So we're gonna
Scott's Way Hey?
It's absolutely. So we're gonna play a little bit of Cameron here. Let's
Can I go for a piss now?
Absolutely. You don't need to hear yourself play. Trust me. Like, when you hear his set and you look at the audience of this video, you're like, what the fuck? There's like 4 people in the audience. And it's crushing.
It's a burner. That's how you get good audio, though. There's no audience there to interrupt your audio.
Yep.
Every time I have a gig where there's no audience, I'm like, thank God. I can actually just capture the music.
You'll recognize this when he gets to it.
A little bit of a variation.
This is Josh's favorite tune.
I love this fucking tune. Because I'm a redneck, dude.
Big time. Let's all do the Fred Morrison.
We're sitting down, so we got it. We got half of it. Oh, we gotta get Fred on.
We've lost the audio, right?
God damn.
So one important question, Cameron, about this recording. Do you remember this?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah.
What was it like to play for 6 people?
Well,
kind of like doing this show live.
What was it like to record one of the most amazing sets ever?
That was
for
brutal,
6 people?
man. That was awesome.
4 of them were my family that had come in from Connecticut.
That figures, right?
And two of them I was staying with because they were putting me up. So
there you go.
It's a hell of a recital, bruv.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely brilliant. So that was in the Celtic Hall in Schenectady, and my experience of America and American piping is very, very limited. But the best times I've had are on the East Coast and being hosted by Matt Kelly up in Schenectady, visiting our pal Doogie, and that recital was part of a road trip me and Ali Henderson took just for shits and giggles. We went a long way round to the Virginia Tattoo. We took 2 weeks and cruised down from. We went up to Boston and came all the way down and ended up in Virginia. And that set was it was a Fred Morrison tune, and then went into a little bit of Carlos Nunez. And if you haven't heard, that was terrible. Like the ending of it was absolutely terrible. If you haven't heard Carlos Nunez, Jigs and Bulls, you have to Google it. It's some of the most accurate and fast piping you'll ever hear. So it's on the gaita, the Spanish gaita.
Yeah.
But it is
so on the big middle pipe.
Incredible. No, yes, it's well, you'll see it. Carlos Nunez, Jigs and Bulls is fucking unbelievable. And I was just having a little go at it, and I fucked up at the end. But you played it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair. Hey, you can't be perfect, man. You're human, just like the rest of us, especially Josh.
Wow. Are you saying I'm the most human of all of us humans?
Listen, it was still fucking. It's still fucking.
That's fucking burner, dude. That was awesome.
We actually talked about this with Murray Blair a month ago or so, because we played a clip of him playing. Because he sent us some clips of him playing, because he really struggles to play the full pipes nowadays. But he played a bunch of jigs, and we're like, "Hey man, what's it like to be fucking 4 minutes of jigs and fucking be brilliant?" He's like, "Yeah, I fucked up a couple times." Like, I don't know, I didn't hear it.
he's like, "Yeah, that's not my favorite. It's not my favorite recording." I'm like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me?"
So anyway, for those of us in the lower levels, we're like, "Hey, that's fucking goddamn genius."
What's it like down there?
That was really interesting.
Which one?
It was really, really interesting hearing what's his name?
Murray Blair.
Murray
Blair. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was really good to hear him on.
Yeah, he's a fucking legend. He's even bigger dick legend than you. He doesn't let us say it, but
yeah, he doesn't let us say that he's a big dick legend.
He's very, very humble.
Yeah, if you go behind any of these band recordings and stuff, like he was there, and all these tunes and stuff with the Vic Police. This is the time to show the hat. Wait a minute. The Vic Police hat.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, he was a very humble guy. I met him very briefly at Piping Live, but he turns out to be like quite a close pal of a great guy I know who's in Melbourne now, Scotty Burrell, a drummer that used to play for Bogcall. Mm-hmm. He's good pals with Murray Blair now, and yeah, he just like listen to the recordings. He's been behind the tunes and stuff. It was a great interview, and he was kind of very modest about stuff, but like Master Blasters was a new thing to me. I'd listened to 78th Fraser Highlanders, probably Flame of Wrath, way before I heard of Master Blasters. And then when I heard Master Blasters, it seemed like such a kind of studio edit compared to those, live recordings. I was like, I'm not sure I'm into that and stuff. But, with the benefit of a bit of experience and stuff, you can, appreciate the
attempted
behind those recordings and stuff and what he was doing.
Yeah, the innovation there was quite remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
79's Flame of Wrath is outstanding. Don't get me wrong, but that's another one of those amazingly inspirational albums that hit. That was just fucking. That just ruled. Yeah. But I have another clip that I want to play, and Cameron, this is from you playing at the Glenfiddich in 2017.
Cameron Drummond.
All right, that's it. So what I want to know is those 12 seconds where you're like waiting for your drone. You're just like fucking getting ready. How much were you shitting your pants right then?
Who? That was me or Cammy?
That was Cameron. Right about to play the Unjust Incarceration in 2017. He's about to play his P-Brock. He's letting he's just fucking.
He would have been shitting his kilts, not his
shitting
pants,
his kilt,
right?
Yeah. Because Glenn would have been shitting his. Glenn would have been shitting his
Glenn
pants.
how much I would shit myself.
No, I want to know how much you were shitting your pants in those 12 seconds of like the drones just not kicking your cannon in. Yeah, you absolutely.
Oh fuck! I thought you were asking Glenn.
No, this is you. Was this your first appearance in the Glenfiddich?
2017. No, it wasn't. No.
Okay, so you're an old hat.
That unfortunately doesn't make much of a difference. It maybe takes the edge off, but no, 2017 was a wee bit weird. I was not 100% fitness. I had like a kind of a cold coming on, so I was in this kind of zone of right. Let's get through it. And to be honest, when you walk out onto a stage like that, in my experience, you've done your shitting yourself well beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
No, you don't think so?
Well, Glenn might disagree, but
so Glenn was shitting your pants for you. He was
I remember as a 12, 13-year-old getting. There was a really, really big contest in Scotland, the junior solos, and people play at it. And I remember listening to James Beaumont and John Mahern playing. You'll know these guys' names. Playing in the over category and thinking, "Fuck me, these guys are absolutely on fire." If you don't know those names, you're fuckwits. And so, at that sort of contest, like before you get there, you've had all the worry. And so for me, when you walk on stage, yeah, you're worried about your performance, but the real nerves go out the window. It's more just get into performance mode, get through it, and as it happens, I made a fucking mistake in that tune, so it's not the thing you want to do. You play really well and have a little blip in the Glenfiddich. That's not what you want to do, but in terms of those like tuning phrases and stuff, that's where I start to relax a little bit. It doesn't determine where the tune goes. Like you still might shit yourself in the tune, and you might have a wobbly moment and stuff like that. But for myself, it's the feeling of pressure before you get on stage is the big worry. And then when you walk on, there's fuck all you can do about it. You've got to play. If your pipes are in tune, happy days. If you're walking on with problems that you're like, fuck, my pipes aren't as good as they should be and stuff, then okay, you're gonna be nervous. But if you put yourself in a good position and walk on, then there's nothing else you can do. There's no point in being nervous. So there's I don't know. It's different for different guys, but you see what Glenn says.
Well, let's ask a winner what it's like. Glenn. Glenn, what is it like for you when you win the P-Brock Challenge in 2019?
So I've been there 3 times, and your question about shitting yourself is like, I'm not a nervous guy at all. And when I compete, it's just what Cammy's saying there. Like when you're on stage, it's either going to go well or it's not. And I've learned this through years of competing, probably when I was about 18. And then from there on, it's like, it's not life or death. So if you fuck up, you fuck up. And if you play well, then great. But my tip my advice for all competitive players that want to play at the Glenfiddich one day would be, and it doesn't matter where you're from in the world, go to the Glenfiddich before you're going to play there. Okay, because I was 26 when I won the gold medal, and I'd never been to the Glenfiddich. Sorry?
So that was a good flex.
Well, I was 26.
No, but 26 when I won the Glenfiddich.
No, not the Glenfiddich. But I had never been to the Glenfiddich. I had never set foot in the building, so I had no idea what to expect. Right. So these other competitions you're playing in Inverness and Oban and London, like the big ones, they're a level of intense emotional fatigue, all this sort of stuff that you have to go through on the day, right? But the Glenfiddich is a room full of 500 people or more that know exactly what they're listening for. So my first time at the Glenfiddich was my first time competing there. And I literally stepped on stage and shot my pants. I'm looking out in the audience like, fuck me, anybody who's anybody is there.
Also, I worry about the Glenfiddich because if that building fell down, that's 500 dead virgins.
Who love P-Rock.
So, but my first year, my experience was I broke down in the Crunlua. And what happened was, and they've changed this now, but the room at the Glenfiddich, if you're sitting facing the stage, there's these giant windows, okay? And now they have blinds that they've pulled down because there's the parking lot right out front of it. And then there's a side window that has the BBC van and people walking in and out, like coming in. And when I was playing, and I shouldn't have let this affect me, but I was turning and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a woman in a bright red jacket who just got out of her car, like she was coming in, and I lost where I was. And so I stopped. And it was hilarious because one of the judges came up to me afterwards and went, "Oh, it was going so well. Why'd you stop?" And I was like, because I was fucking off the tune. I had no fucking clue where I was. Like, I don't know how I would have got back onto it, right? But the same year, Roddy won the P-Brock and he played Donald Dougal. And if you've been to Blair Athol, the grounds,
the peacock.
There are peacocks. There are lots of wild animals. And this year, Roddy
just like the Vegas Games.
I'm sure there's lots of things at the Vegas Games.
There's a lot of peacocks, literally. That's why our emblem is a peacock.
So there's a peacock on the window ledge as Roddy's playing his P-Brock, literally opening its tail and fanning it like this. And Roddy, the guy's a master. He was totally cool.
He gave zero fucks.
And my second time, which was 2017, that was Cammy's second time as well, I think. At the start of 2017, I did the Dojo cruise with Andrew Douglas and Callum and Robert Matheson, these guys. But Callum and I were in the States for 2 weeks, and we did the Dojo cruise so we landed in New York, which was fucking like -10 or whatever. For you guys, it would have been like 25 degrees.
Still sucks. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Freezing.
Celsius or Fahrenheit, that still sucks ass.
And then we went to this cruise where we were in the Caribbean, and it was 40 degrees Celsius, and then back to New York where again it was -10, and then a week later back to Scotland where it was rainy and cold, and my one of my tenor drones cracked, and I play a set of nail pipes, so they were like relatively new, they were about 8 years old, 7 years old maybe. And I got in touch with Martin and I said, like, can you make me a new piece? He said, "Oh no, I'm just going to repair it." So he did his thing, repaired it, and you couldn't see the crack, and it was fine. And I had a good competitive year and qualified for the Glenfiddich. And the start of October is the Captain John competition, and I've only played it in a couple of times. But the morning of the Captain John competition, again, it was a cool morning. I went to tune my drone and the crack had reappeared. So it had split again. So this was like about 3 weeks before the Glenfiddich. And I thought I'll send it down to Martin he'll send me a replacement piece. But he didn't send me a replacement piece. He didn't have time. So I ended up playing a set of pipes. There was another new set of nails that I hadn't really spent much time playing. So that's what I played in the Glenfiddich that year. But like I felt much more at ease because I had been there, and I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was kind of up against.
And you saw the venue.
Fine. And then last year was good. I got a tune that I love playing, and you've done the hard work, as Cammy says. You've done the hard work to kind of get there, and so it's just kind of a celebration. You're there with the other top guys of the year, and it was good, and it was a successful day in the Pibroch. So yeah, the highlight for me was playing a modern tune, which I did in 2017. I played a Chris Armstrong march that's a modern tune, which I like to do, like play new things. It doesn't matter if it was written yesterday or 100 years ago. A good tune's a good tune. But the highlight for me was being able to play it with the guy who wrote it, son, judging. Because if there's anybody that you want to impress with that tune, he's the guy that you really want to impress playing his father's tune, and it just happens to be one of my favorite tunes. So it was a good year, and I think, but again, the Glenfiddich is amazing for anybody, and I would say, it's one of these things that people should put on a bucket list and go and listen to. The pipes just sound fucking incredible in that big hall, and everybody's there because they want to hear good piping. It's not like they're there because they're waiting for you to drop a grace note. So they go, aha, you drop that grace note there. They're there because they want to cheer you on. They want to hear good piping, right? Yeah. I'm sure Cammy probably feels the same way, right? Like it's the ultimate for pipers.
Yeah, I was there. I was there when I was probably 12 or 13. When as soon as I was in a band with players that kind of knew what they were doing, they're like, right, get up to the Glenfiddich, get a B&B, let's go have a couple of beers, go to the Cayley, blah blah blah, and the experience was just absolutely phenomenal. Just listening to the top 10 players of that era, and so Glenn played, and that was the first time we'd been there. I played there. I knew what it was all about. I knew what was going on. It didn't fucking help, but I knew.
You're prepared.
I knew the gravity of it, the grounds of it. Like Blair Castle is just an unbelievable place. I remember the peacock jumping up at the window and Roddy McLeod was playing. I'd heard stories of Roddy McLeod getting stung by bees and wasps on his way around the games and finishing the tunes without a flinch, and I'd like Roddy McLeod's legend had been drilled into me by one of my first teachers, his bagpipe and his approach and stuff like that. I knew what to look up to, and at the Glenfiddich I saw it and realised that the elite were where they were because of certain reasons, and if I wanted to ever be there, then I'd have to fucking work really, really hard. And it wasn't until years later that I had the opportunity.
Well, what our audience really wants to know, though, is and both of you guys have played in the Glenfiddich. Does playing in the Glenfiddich bring on the ladies? Like, where do the blowjobs happen? Like when you walk off stage, are there like women, or like fluffers? Like,
oh dear.
Do you want me to take this one, Glenn?
Cam, this is
sorry. We only have a half hour of piping content we can do in any episode before we get back to dick jokes.
Jesus Christ, man! Like we've talked way too much about bagpipes. One of our audience,
it's Fusco's edit, guys. You just do what you got to do.
One of our audience actually wants to know. Ask Cameron specifically, what's it like to be the Johnny Sins of the bagpipe world?
I know who that is.
You know who that is.
He won't know who that is.
Cam, do you know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Go look him up. He's legend. He's just like you. He's a legend. But
Johnny Sins.
Johnny Sins. He lives in Las Vegas, actually.
Okay.
Does he really?
does.
We should get him on the podcast.
We should. Him and Cameron. Let's just have him tell stories.
And just whip it out and measure.
No, but seriously.
Johnny Sins is just a very respectable young man.
Listen, we're all nerds here, right? Obviously, we play bagpipes. We're to a certain extent we're
Some
nerds.
of us do.
Well, yeah, but where does the bagpipes translate into the ladies? That's what I want to know.
So
Cameron
this
knows
is an
this.
interesting question. Because
This might be for another episode. We might need to get these guys back.
well, I'm just curious. So Cameron, I'm told that you are happily engaged now, or in a relationship. How's that going?
Indeed.
He's engaged.
Okay, but I'm also told you were in the past. I'm using the past tense, everyone.
Past tense.
A legendary coxman.
Oh, we've got all kinds of stories.
I'm not saying you have to tell anything now because I'm sure there's restrictions. But let's warm him up because he's drinking, and I think we have an opportunity.
Guys, you're talking to a Jedi Master and a Padawan here, and you've got them fucking mixed up. So let's pass over to Glenn Dawg, who is currently unattached and slaying the pea.
Oh, we definitely need to talk to Glenn about slaying hashtag crushing the puss, as we call it.
Also, I like Cameron saying you're talking to a Jedi and a Padawan right now.
Wait, who's the Jedi here?
Apparently, Glenn's the Jedi and Cam's the Padawan.
Yeah,
No, he's talking.
absolutely,
Definitely
absolutely.
Need to talk to Glenn about slaying.
Absolutely.
Hashtag crushing the puss.
Crushing the puss.
Yeah.
That was my fault. Sorry. So, Glenn, tell us about crushing the puss. Go.
Puss in Boots from Shrek, or
You're so Canadian.
yeah, I think we'll need to reserve that for the R-rated show.
There's no show more R-rated than this one.
Oh my God. No, but really, what I want to know, and you guys can answer this as vaguely as you want, to protect your reputations. But does being a P-Brock master, does winning the Glenfiddich in 2019 P-Brock section get you any more women than previous to that?
No,
Of course not.
I don't
get a better
really-
hobby, people. That's the lesson learned here
How about
today.
say, like, this is why I said if the Glenfiddich, if the building accidentally collapsed, we would lose 500 virgins.
Correct.
Yeah, take up the guitar or the kit drum.
Colin Armstrong had it right. He's like, hey, I can play pipes like a son of a bitch, but guess what? I'm gonna play guitar and where I make them. I'll get all kinds
Colin
of.
was right all along. Colin was right from the beginning.
Listen, be like Colin Armstrong, not Glenn Brown. Is that what you're telling us, Glenn?
That's it,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, can you imagine me like, hey, how's it going, girl? I got this thing tomorrow. You want to come? And it's just.
It's a
Fucking P-Brock.
It's the P-Brock competition?
Just 10 hours of people being like, ba-da-do, ba-da-do.
Oh, there's no pussy being had at that competition. I tell you.
Granted, I will say this, women of the world, if you're listening to this show, you should date a P-Brock player because they have an incredible amount of patience and stamina.
They definitely do.
Otherwise, they would not put up with that shit. So if you have a hard time getting off, date a P-Brock player because they'll put the work in.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what, guys, this has been so much fun. I wish we were sitting here sharing a bev together, but we're gonna wrap this show up real quick because we've gone on for not enough time, in my opinion, but also too much time. Final thoughts. We're gonna start with Glenn, Cameron, Foucault, and then I will stop the stream.
Yeah, I've had a great time, boys. Thanks for having me. Let's do it in person sometime when there's no COVID and we get out to Las Vegas to have a decent time.
A little bit of sesh.
Yeah. We might just hire you guys to come out here and.
Cam, when you're not making paper mache, what the fuck are you doing? How's it going?
Well, we could do some play for sheets and.
We didn't even talk about
his.
his fucking thing. God damn it, we got to talk about his thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see you again next week.
Go to playforsheets.com and check out Jesus Christ, we missed the whole point.
I feel like we should get royalties on that, by the way.
Well, they were good enough to come on. I don't know. But Cameron, real quick, tell us what your Play for Sheets thing is, because that's really why we're here.
It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. What
just like playing for sheets, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. What we missed out was my shout outs. Play for Sheets, the whole thing. That's 2 pages. Chanter rant, Fisco, Dojo colleagues. Missed out the Doogie Appreciation Society section, which is normally about 30 fucking minutes on your show. The Dojo.
Isn't the Doogie Appreciation Society like 2 members right now? It's just you and Cam.
I gotta keep my fucking job, man.
Guys,
yeah, exactly.
Me too. Like, could come back on here.
Cameron worked for the dojo, by the way, just so we all know.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding everybody, Fusco. Every time you talk about the fucking dojo, you never ever mention my name, but it's fine. I listen.
Speaking of which, if you ever want to get lessons from Cameron Drummond himself, you can go to chanarant.com/suckless.
Please click the fucking link. Why does everybody not click our fucking link and click everybody else's link? Click the fucking channel.
Premium test drive, baby.
There are between 2 and 7 people that would actually take that offer up, and it's important to know there are people that teach on the dojo apart from Fusco and Doogie. Chant around, we'll forget that section. Josh, the fact check, but interesting hearing New Zealand drummer from last week, Dojo. Never been invited on the cruise. Thought I should mention that.
So wait, what we're saying is we need Cameron's corner.
We need Cameron's corner. I just want him to rant about all the shit he's pissed off about. This is great.
That doesn't include.
Wait, Cameron, are you ready to do a Cameron's corner right now? We'll have to add the music in later, because I'm assuming you don't have the Cahill's corner music.
I don't, but I can add it.
No, I mean the whole idea of me coming on to speak was to promote my own shit, which you were just about to cut off, and I was about to go gan fuck yourself. But I've got there's more. I even wrote down Doogie is a great player. I mean,
ironically, or
wait, I think you're breaking up. Hold on.
No, it says great player.
Well, he is in the front row.
There's so much.
Hey, it's not my fault you got drunk and didn't pull out your notepad. All right.
By the way, I've got Doogie stories that would have been around when Cammy was just a wee pup. Yeah.
So Cameron's final thoughts are: I wish the show was longer.
He wants to tell us.
I wish the show was playforsheets.com and I got a chance to actually fucking talk about something that I wanted to talk about. But
listen,
it's been great.
Playforsheets.com. So here's the deal.
So
though,
you're about to say
this was intentionally the point, though. Get me Stephen McWhorter, and I will talk about your shit nonstop for the next 6 months. It'll be like, you know how I talk about the dojo all the fucking time?
He doesn't have to be nice. He can be a dick. Doesn't matter.
No, I don't care what he says.
We don't care.
Just that he can come on for 10 seconds and say, go fuck yourselves.
As long as he's willing to come on and have a laugh. Well, he has to come on for 10 seconds every week to tell us go fuck ourselves live.
I want to see him on the show to say, here's a spoon so you can eat my ass.
That would be amazing.
Dude, I'll send him a shirt. Like,
Steve, that would be amazing. I'm going to send him a shirt anyway.
It'll just be, here's a spoon. # one of the sets.
Dude. Get that shirt done. I will send it to him.
Done. Let's go. Final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to say I appreciate you guys being on. Cameron kept his sunglasses on the whole time, which is amazing.
Well, he's also intoxicated.
He's very intoxicated, which I love it, but we've got to have him back. And
I think we have to have both these guys back because this has been so much fun.
I really want to have Graham on sometime because I've got questions for him, like what was he thinking? But we'll get into that. We'll get into that some other time.
Good question.
This has been a stupid amount of fun, guys. Anytime y'all want to come on, you're more than welcome. Obviously, I'm excited for Cameron's Corner, where he just shit talks the last 7 episodes.
Can we get Cameron to do a Cameron's Corner where he shit talks Cahill?
Of course,
that'd be amazing.
Because we had shit on our notes we didn't get to.
We never even got to. We'll get to that next week.
But gentlemen, we're gonna stick around for a little bit, but goddamn, guys, thank you for joining us for this episode of the Chanarant Podcast. And if you're watching along at home, like, share, invite your friends, and check us out, patreon.com/Chanarant, or at playingforsheets.org or whatever the fuck it's called.
Playforsheets.com.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
Check. Testing, Mr. Foucault. Are you guys talking to your mics? Go ahead and say something. Either of you two fools.
Just speak into the microphone so we can test the audio. There we go. Thank you.